Hello, Apollo 11 Houston. We recommend you accept the now 49. Continue through your sequence of sightings, and then we'll analyze the data afterwards. Over.
So, Dragon Ball Z card game, or Dragon Ball card game. Sorry, you guys will catch the intro later. We were in the middle of discussion. It's a good podcast topic.
It doesn't last more than 3 or 4 years, so now we're like talking like, can it compete? I don't even think it's competing against Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon. I think it's just Pokemon at this point. Like Yu-Gi-Oh is nice, but it's kind of fading out because
It's fading out in the States. In Japan, it is massive.
Yeah, well, we're not in Japan, I'd assume. So
but
Like-
like other countries still affect our gaming culture here, especially in Japan.
yeah, but I know in the States, at least from someone that like before I moved, I used to like have a bunch of local haunts, which for people that don't know what local haunts are, because I'd assume the four of us know what it is. It's like the game shop or card store or whatever that you're always a regular, like you're there every day or you're there multiple times a week.
I've never called it a regular haunt.
Oh, that's literally what
I
all
think-
my friends and I call it.
That's
But
also
it's
a
called
pretty
a regular.
common term.
But I've never been
What?
called a regular haunt.
It's a pretty common term outside of Florida.
Ah,
Never
Like,
heard of it. But I am
the-
not a regular at any store outside of Florida now.
yeah,
Yeah.
like the Metro would be considered a regular haunt for us.
I
Um,
get the meaning behind it. I've just never called any of those things a regular haunt.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, but calling the Metro a regular hunt also
Haunt.
haunt.
I mean, either
Hunt on-
verbiage.
hunt-
Yeah,
hunt-
it's true.
It is.
Kind of comical.
Yeah, it's
would
kind of a
vastly
hunt.
Change the
Hunts
purpose
or
of this
hunt.
adventure.
Mhm.
Wherever you place that N, it's still applicable.
Yeah.
Also, that sentence sounds funny.
Definitely.
Oh
Wait.
man, rest in peace.
Yeah, I picked up the term after I had moved out of Florida the first time. So,
Yeah. But pretty much one, at least from the games I was playing, a lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh players have sticky fingers from what I was hearing from a lot of like the card shop owners and whatnot.
A lot of
And
young nerds
two-
have sticky fingers.
Well, they
Okay.
weren't even like the young kids. This was like people
Looking
like
at Kain.
but they're like, it's a lot of sticky fingers, and the fact that a lot of the players are like, it's just a first turn kill or a one turn kill, so not a lot of people are wanting to like invest into it. But
Oh, you mean it's not like the TV show? What the fuck, man?
you can bring the dual disc all you want. I will say I would respect the hell out of anyone that came to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament and played with the dual disc.
Those
And
things
if
are
you got
the shit and fuck your cards up.
Dude, those things are cool, but you do not have my respect unless you actually fucking like knife hand somebody with it.
fair.
well, that's how you win, because if the opponent's about to win, if they're no longer conscious, then you win.
So,
Oh, are we playing by those rules?
Yeah. Street rules. But going back to it, I think it's Dragon Ball's not only competing with just Pokemon and I guess Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's also competing with like Magic, it's competing with Lorcana. It's competing with a lot of
We're-
like those kinds of card games, which is hard to compete against.
Everything's
Having-
competing against Magic.
having been to a lot of gaming stores in the last 2 weeks, it looks like we're in that like peak of the tangential curve where there's so many card games that only the good ones are going to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, you guys remember Heroes Unlimited?
I do.
Yeah.
The game that killed L5R?
Rest in peace.
Yeah. They started a Star Wars Unlimited, and I haven't played it yet. But just looking at the card design, I'm pretty sure it uses the Heroes Unlimited rules.
I have a buddy down south who I forget which tournament he won, but it was a Star Wars Unlimited tournament and he really liked it and it seemed fun. I don't know if I haven't played a lot of Heroes Unlimited, so I don't know the rule set compared.
It's been a long time.
Heroes Unlimited was
remember-
fun
I
for
remember
like
how
a year.
I remember how cartoony the drawing style were, or the art style for the cards was.
Yeah. Now, the Star Wars Unlimited looks pretty serious. There was a decent amount of people playing at the last game store I was at. but if it goes by the unlimited rules, and I'll do more research later. I'm just not in the mood for it right now. I'll probably pick up a deck just to see how it plays.
I mean, why not? We're adults. We can actually, afford decks just to see if we like it or not nowadays.
True, I am a couple $100 and a fuck ton of free cards into Flesh and Blood right now.
You're welcome.
I went with the AI bot.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you let the AI fucking?
Dude, I just went with him to make sure he didn't get robbed during a card trade. And he, like, fuckers were buying packs, and then they'd look through the pack, and they'd be like, I don't need anything. You could have these. You're a new player. I came home with a stack of cards, like, no shit, this high. I couldn't fit it in my hoodie pocket.
So
I spent $0.
That is a very giving community.
The Flesh and Blood community is a very,
magic.
at least where I was in Florida and where I am now, and I can just assume in general, a very like wanting people to come in and play, wanting people to learn, wanting people to have fun. So yeah, what they do is they open up a pack. If they like the little shiny foil card, they keep it. If not, if there's a majestic or a legendary or whatever, they keep it, and they're like, oh, do you need bulk? Here you go. That's how I ended up with, I want to say, like at least 7,000 cards of bulk.
Okay.
I'm like $250 into this game, and I effectively have 3 booster boxes and a functional competitive deck.
Yeah.
And most of it was free.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
The
that's nice of him.
Yeah.
The cost curve to get into Flesh and Blood is not bad.
Yeah, and it wasn't just one dude. It was like everybody there playing Flesh and Blood that bought a booster pack essentially looked through it once and handed it to me.
Wait, you went to a nerd shop to make sure he didn't get robbed?
Okay, let me explain how this works, because I'd assume he went with me with that. There's also something else. I will say the person I was trading
here.
the person I was trading with, well, they didn't look like they could hurt me.
Bullshit. I think I'm going with she, out of respect, would beat your ass in a fight.
I don't think she could. She's too soft-spoken and too nervous.
You look like Dr. Robotnik.
You have to be careful of.
She looked like Dr. Robotnik with anxiety. It was fucking terrifying.
That's a dangerous combo.
She was shaped like an Oompa Loompa?
No, she was shaped like Helga from Hey Arnold. I wish she was wearing pigtails. She would have been Helga.
Okay. We also mean, if for some reason this person is listening.
She was a very nice human. You're awesome. Your backpack was super dope. I'm going to take a picture next time so I can Google it. And you were super nice, but this is a podcast. We're going to talk shit. Get over it.
Yeah. But, yeah, no, I was making a trade, and it was a trade that was kind of in my favor after looking at everything. So I guess maybe that's why, but yeah, the community is really dope, really nice. They just had the World's Championship. So everyone's kind of like now preparing for the aftermath of that, because it's about to be dominated by one hero, and it's a very boring meta, but it's going to be very fun because everybody's going to like do stupid things to go fast.
Yeah, it's a cool community. What 2 different dudes offered me decks to play in the tournament. I was I'm just getting into it, and they're like, you could borrow a deck if you want to play in the tournament. And I was like, what? I've literally played 3 games, my man.
And they're like, yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people have multiple decks, or at least the people by us, you could proxy something.
And they were doing something I've never seen done ever while playing cards. They would switch decks so they could test their new deck against like somebody else playing it to make sure it made sense.
Oh, that's cool.
I've never seen that.
We did that in L5R just because we wanted to try out other people's decks, but they were specifically doing it to test to make sure the deck felt good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the intent is different, but we did did that.
Yeah, we all played each other's decks, but it was never to try to make it better so that it could defeat me later.
We just wanted to make each other's decks.
Yeah.
Or we just
It
wanted to play
was-
each other's decks.
I just
I will
wanted
s-
to get familiar with y'all's deck.
I know, most of us play different clans anyways.
That was
We did.
Yeah.
I don't think
I know.
in our group anyone was a conflicting like same clan.
Scorpion.
Yeah, but even okay, so Scorpion though,
There's a couple unicorn too.
we played very different Scorpion.
I don't count as unicorn because that deck was literally just like me being like, oh, this might be a thing. And then it worked out really well.
And it
Yep.
never worked in any different edition after that.
well
No.
because they
Yeah,
made
it was-
sure it would never work anyway.
No. I mean, they already had the other editions planned out after that Kotai. It just was only legal for like 3 months. Because half the cards like had just come into being legal for tournament play, and then the next expansion would push the other half of the cards out of legal for tournament play. It was a weird setup for the deck. That's why I never took it apart. I was like, I'm never gonna need these cards again.
And then if we ever get together to casually play L5R, it's my deck.
Yeah, he's calling dibs on the Unicorn Shigenja deck.
Yeah, and the Scorpion deck I played was pretty much a Scorpion version of Shadowlands.
Yeah,
Spider, essentially.
Well,
Mhm.
Spider now or
Mhm.
Spider now then.
yeah. It was like then now.
The current maybe possibly, who knows.
No, that guy got sued into oblivion.
Yeah, that
Oh,
version of L5R is never coming back.
Yeah. Who is it? Fantasy Flight Studio that owns it?
Yeah, they sued him
What?
into oblivion.
Let the people that want to make the card game fun again
what?
make the card game fun again.
I
Stop suing people just for the IP.
I don't know if I told you about this. I found, and I'm not going to say his name on the podcast, but I found a very wealthy dude trolling around the old L5R forums asking questions and them not getting answered because no one's been to the L5R forums in 10 years. So I started answering him, and he Discord friended me, and he was actively making a new edition on the old rule set to continue the game so that we could just keep playing. And he was gonna like print it and sell it at cost on his website so that people could keep playing L5R. And he was just gonna keep the storyline going from where it died.
That would be cool.
And he thought he had got the correct rights because he'd gotten the story rights to it, to the original timeline. He hadn't gotten the card printing rights, and that's why he's getting sued. Because
Can
he
you not like
shit.
buy the card printing rights now?
no, because they know he wants it now, so they're just gonna jack the price up. He didn't realize that they were not one and the same. And Fantasy Flight is currently suing his face off.
Damn.
He started a whole business. He had employees and shit.
That fucking sucks. man.
Damn, Fantasy Flight really doesn't want people to have fun.
Right?
Are they even doing anything with the licensing of L5R?
They are printing 5th edition RPG books. I've never seen one in real life, and I've fucking looked. You can't order physical copies from anywhere that I could find on the internet, but you can download the PDFs for free off their website.
You should tell that rich guy that, because if they're actually not printing stuff, maybe in court he'd be like, they're not printing it, so I'm
Well,
planning on.
it's been recent enough that there was an L5R card game, so they're getting away with that. Because they tried. They just did poorly executed. You can't take your turns at the same time. It makes for bad gameplay. But yeah. So this, like, I had talked to this dude for 6 or 7 months, and like explained to him how they had done the old card game setup, where like, you know, you have your major edition, and then the booster boxes all create that edition, but you keep the last 3 editions so that you have more cards to use and move it forward. But like, yeah, he was full on. He had sent me, I'll have to dig it up out of my emails. He had sent me all the cards he was going to print for the newest edition, and it was a good spread. It was all 10 clans. he was gonna do the first edition, bring back Rattling, or the first expansion, bring back Rattling. The cards made sense. Nothing looked super overpowered. It was really cool. Like old style, a modern version of the old style layouts for the cards, and just basically keep what was the last edition. It wasn't fucking Emerald. Lotus?
I think it might have been Lotus
Lotus
because
was the
Jade
final
was one of
last
the earlier
edition.
sets.
Yeah.
Jade is the art style that I really liked and the card layout.
Yeah.
Oh, because I was like very old style, like old Japanese style.
Yeah.
With when it was at Jade. And then Diamond was when most of us got into it.
Mhm.
I think it went Jade, Gold, Diamond. Because I got into it right before Diamond, and I was playing a Totori's Army deck.
Shit, when did I get into that? Because I remember playing Jade.
A lot of
old.
a lot of Diamond was reprints of Jade.
Yeah.
So
But, I mean, I get that, but I remember having Jade edition cards.
yeah, we could find the boosters and stuff, and you would get cool shit out of them.
Yeah, wow.
But yeah, if I remember, Diamond was when we were in high school. That was the edition?
Yeah,
for
Diamond.
cards.
Diamond had just started when we all decided to go full force into it because we were tired of Wizards of the Coast bullshit, which hasn't changed apparently.
Nope.
Like,
Not one bit.
at some point, I thought they'd like collapse or get better. They have done neither.
No, what they start to do is collab with every single possible popular IP
Yeah.
known to mankind.
They just buy more things, and they do. They've been doing collabs with everybody.
They're-
Anything huge.
They're doing
They're
a Harry
making a
Potter
Marvel.
collab.
They're just now releasing after Magic Foundations. It's either before they did Foundations or after they're doing Foundations. Marvel, like Secret Lair, like you're going to be
There's
able to play
so
Iron
fucking
Man and Captain
collaborations
America.
in Magic.
Yeah,
Right?
That's how they make their money.
N-
And
Yeah,
they
but it's
just
one
now-
card printed 20 different fucking times because it's just got different artwork on it. Like, I get
guess-
it, cool, but it's too fucking much.
Yeah.
I'm not,
But
not
guess
only
what?
that.
It's shiny.
They actually made characters out of like Baldur's Gate into Magic cards.
Yeah,
see, I want some of those just to have them, not to get back into Magic.
Right, because
I
they
have a
look
couple I
fucking
could give you.
dope.
Yeah. But yeah, Wizards of the Coast has been hot garbage forever. I mean, their biggest fuck up was selling the for L5R rights back to AEG. They could have carried L5R forever.
Yeah, but they didn't.
Yeah, but then we all
They
have.
didn't do it well.
But then we all have like Magic the Gathering collaboration with L5R, and it's gonna be real weird.
Yeah, but I could just not buy that. Like that.
And all that tells me is if that Magic is doing a collaboration with L5R, then that means that at least L5R has a community, has people playing it, interested in it, and diving into it in different facets.
Dude,
Right.
We don't
Right.
have that right now.
I agree with that.
I got a bunch of trophies on Reddit just for answering L5R questions. Like the L5R community on Reddit is fucking giant. And everyone's just playing their old decks and playing 3rd and 4th edition RPG. There's a bunch of dudes on there. It's like a group of friends in Michigan or some shit that got the old minis for the Warhammer like game and painted them up, 3D scanned them so they could 3D print more, and they're playing the old Clan Wars game. Like,
That's cool.
the L5R community is huge.
They're just not organized.
It just not big enough and regionally close enough to actually do anything about it. But like it's bigger than you expect. It's not Magic huge, obviously, but it's big enough to where like they were planning a get together for next year, or are planning a get together for next year, for everybody to meet in the same town, rent out a like dining hall, and just play L5R for a weekend.
We should all email, what is it, Fantasy Flight, to let us have fun again and just release the copyrights to whoever wants, so you could have some fun again.
I don't know, man. I think they're trying to ride that the D&D RPG boom.
Yeah, and even the new edition of the L5R tabletop roll set is not great.
Well, we just go back to the fun one.
I still have all my 10-sided dice.
I do
have
too.
10-sided Mantis.
Oh, I've got all my 10s, but I have that because of all the
Fuck.
E10 systems out there.
Wizards of the Coast owns Fantasy Flight. Worst thing Wizards of the Coast did was fuck up L5R.
Wait. So the people that made the
Goddamn.
original mistake now own the thing that still make it. No wonder why they're suing the fuck out of them, because they want. This is why Legend Story Studios, the makers of Flesh and Blood, are great.
Bro, these big nerd companies are savage when it comes to courtrooms.
Yeah, and the way
God, yeah.
Wizards of the Coast owns part of Fantasy Flight is weird. It's Fantasy Flight is owned by Asmodee, who owns Embracer Group, who is owned by Hasbro, who owns Wizards of the Coast.
Oh, so
It's
the
all
dude's messing
Hasbro.
with Hasbro.
Yeah.
The dude's messing with Hasbro, which
Everybody's got a finger inside of everybody.
like how we mentioned 10-sided dice, and I immediately grabbed my Mantis dice.
I mean,
The-
some of them probably more than a finger. It is a
I
big
wish I still
toy
had my
company.
Shadowlands dice. Those got stolen.
Dude,
Rude.
Amazon, my man.
It's not the same.
It's the same dice. It just doesn't have all your poor rolls in them.
You could put new
Rude.
portals.
Mine exploded all the time. Thank you very much.
Roll the intro.
Hello, and welcome back to our totally very 100% consistent podcast where we definitely record every week and don't take weeks off. We've released a lot of episodes. Never missed. We've released a lot of episodes this week and last week, so please go check them out if you can. Listen to it on YouTube, Spotify. Listen to it on both. Mute one of them and just chill out. On this week's episode, if you couldn't tell already, we are joined by Kain,
Hello.
DreadPirate,
What's up?
KickenBeans,
How's it going, everyone?
and me, Bipoe. I would say what's going on, my dudes, but we've kind of been talking about TCGs this entire time.
Yeah.
Were we not recording any of that?
We were recording all of that. We just never did the intro.
No, we've been recording for the past.
We're
20 odd
22 minutes into it, man.
Real quick, though, kind of segueing it back to one of the things we touched on, the Star Wars Unlimited.
Yeah.
The storefront we're going to tomorrow is one of the main sale hubs for that.
Oh, that's where I was. That's where I was when I
Really?
was watching it.
How? Oh,
So you have my attention with that. I'm going to just
Yeah.
go ahead and say that right now.
yeah. We could go early and look. I don't know how
I'm
much
gonna be
starter
there
decks
right
are.
after work.
Some of us have jobs, my man.
Some of us got. Okay, how do I explain this without explaining too much detail? Some of us have a job, but it hasn't started yet. Fuck you.
Aaron, you don't have a job.
I technically yes. The
AI
people
bot,
that
you're
know
not
about it,
legal everywhere yet. We get it.
Are you getting paid?
Point Kane.
I get paid this weekend or this Friday.
Yeah, no, Colorado has some pretty cool job protection laws.
Oh, dope.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm super excited. I got two big things.
Was
Has nothing to do
TCGs
with
not one of
cards.
them?
No, that was just a shot of opportunity, my man.
Because I was so down to keep talking.
Valve is killing it. I don't care about the lawsuit. I don't even know what that's about. I haven't looked into it yet. But in my brain, Valve's fucking killing it right now. We get a Steam Controller 2 coming up.
That thing looks really cool.
It looks nice.
I loved my Steam Controller, and I sadly lost it in the divorce. It was like one of the very specific things she asked for. So I'm excited about this because I'll be able to get another Steam Controller. And then
What did you get in return?
a divorce.
No, like, oh, okay. I was gonna be like, did you guys like trade? Like, oh,
I want
fair.
a
No,
refund on our AI bot.
I didn't ask. My divorce was very quick to the point. There was no bitching or bickering. It was really cool. Thank you. I guess,
Person.
current ex-wife, because I used to call you my future ex-wife and it would piss you off, and I thought it was funny. Um, but like, if you're listening, it was awesome. I had a good time, and for real, I had a good time. It was a very easy divorce, but she asked for a couple very specific things in the divorce because I didn't care. I was happily living in my car. Um, the Steam Deck controller was one of them, and then like a couple very select guns that I was like, fair enough. Those are basically yours.
Okay. Cool. Sorry to interrupt.
Fair enough.
This is your show.
What did you like about the Steam controller? Like, what was
I could play
what made it so special for you?
I could play StarCraft on a controller. Like good StarCraft, not like I'm hobbling through this and I hope the Zerg don't attack me StarCraft. It's a shit controller for first-person shooters. Anything that requires a controller to play, it's a shit controller for. But any other game where they had no controller thought process in their head, it's fucking awesome. You could play like any top down with this thing. I burned through both the first and second Fallouts. I burned through Baldur's Gate with it once. I used to play WoW with it before WoW had controller support.
So you're
WoW controller support is weird though.
Yeah,
So you're-
but you
I
could
don't
do
know how
this
you-
one easy. You would still need a keyboard for all your macros, but like just running around and grinding, it was perfect for.
Fair enough.
so you're telling me it's a great controller for not controller game.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
exactly what it is. And they used to sell it for $5 on sale days. So it like this thing's gonna be $50 when it comes out, probably, and probably go on sale for spring sale or summer sale for $5.
Fair. Here's my question.
Okay.
Now, this is going to sound weird. I can't remember if it was the first one or the second one, but one of the KOTORs on Steam has no controller support, and it boggles me why, because it was originally a console fucking game. I think it's 2.
I have KOTOR 2, and I've played with a controller on my computer.
One of the 2 doesn't have controller support.
I think it probably does.
Fun.
It's probably just not listed because EA.
I gotta look into that. Now you got me all confused.
But yeah, it basically, so your thumb pads, if you look at it, it looks like a directional on the left side, but the thumb pads are haptic feedback laptop mice. So you just put your thumb wherever and you run it along it. It doesn't actually like move or anything. And then it has a regular joystick, and then you can map all the other buttons to do whatever the fuck you want.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, it's like having the touch pads on the Steam Deck. That's where I think they originally... I think the Valve Steam Controller 1 inspired this Steam Deck, and then the Steam Deck's popularity and everybody loving those fucking things on the Steam Deck, which I don't understand why, is pushing the controller, because everyone's been asking for a controller since they got used to the weird thumb mouse things.
Gotcha.
That's like the one thing on the Steam Deck I've tried it. It's nothing special. But then again, I had a Steam controller. So it might just be one of those things that I already knew this was a thing.
I still don't think I've played on a Steam Deck.
We could fix that. We're gonna see each other in March.
True.
Just be prepared. You might end up buying a Steam Deck. If with as much as you game, my man, a Steam Deck would actually be really dope for you. And you could just buy the 256 gig or 128 gig OLED one, and then go buy a hard drive. You're competent enough to throw a 2 terabyte in there, and then you basically would spend $400 doing it that way instead of like the $800 you would have to do it if you bought the top of the line with everything involved. It's real low bar to entry for what it is.
Yeah. I still need to get one, just not right now. I need to build my computer first.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It is definitely an auxiliary tool. But I've been playing Rogue Trader on it for the last 3 nights. I've gotten no sleep playing Rogue Trader because I lay down in bed and I throw like a background podcast on, and then last 3 nights in a row I've been up till like 3 in the morning playing Rogue Trader. And then I wake up at like 4:30 to go to work.
Buddy.
Yeah, I am wore out, bro.
Rogue Trader be like that. When I first started it, the
It's
same thing
so
happened.
good.
It was like 5 in the morning.
It is
Like,
so good.
I need to go to bed.
Yeah, it is. I've killed my Steam Deck every night, and that's what stopped me from playing. Is like, oh, it's dead. My charger's downstairs. Fuck.
I think it's a wonderful old school style RPG, just in Warhammer 40K. There's no true happiness in that game.
No,
But
it's just Baldur's Gate 3 and Warhammer 40K universe. It's fucking awesome.
It's amazing. And yeah, that one takes dedication though. That's 200 hours with the DLC.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited about. Is I'm gonna end up going back to Baldur's Gate 3 and actually beating that fucking game on the Steam Deck because I'm staying up and playing, but I gotta figure out a way to like make myself go to sleep at a certain time. Because I could do 4 hours a night. I don't realize that much time is going by. That's my issue.
Just set a timer. Like
I don't want to wake up my spouse.
set it to vibrate. Actually, fair.
I'm sure that there's a parenting setting somewhere on that Steam Deck to like shut the thing off automatically at a certain time.
I didn't think about that. I'll look at that actually. Because my goal is like I'll play an hour a night. And it's just not, I'm not getting an hour a night. I'm getting like 6.
That game will suck you in, and before you know it, it's 5, 6 in the morning. It's happened to me a couple times. That's why I'm over 2 full days in.
Yeah,
or you just take a fuck ton of melatonin.
Melatonin don't do anything. It's a placebo.
That doesn't work for me.
Yeah, that doesn't do shit for me.
It's been proven it's a placebo.
That
is like a fuck you tranquilizer. There's a big difference. There's a large gap between melatonin and that.
I would like to sleep, not die for a day and a half.
We should start microdosing ketamine.
That's like, I was gonna say that's like saying instead of taking melatonin, you should go on like a fucking spiritual journey in a K-hole. Big difference.
No, not a K-hole. That's too far.
It's technically sleep.
No, it's not.
No, you don't get rested from it. But you're not moving.
You are conked out for like you are conked out. You do what I do.
Very
you just
much moving if you're in a K-hole.
Oh, I just laid on the desert.
No, I don't want to do. I don't like the way that shit makes me feel.
Really want to try the ketamine therapy thing, just because like I have PTSD, whatever. But it's open. Ketamine therapy's open through the VA. They pay for everything if you have PTSD and you request it. So I'm seriously considering requesting it because it's 7 free ketamine trips with like legal ketamine.
Fucking do it, especially in this state. Fucking do it.
Yeah.
So funny enough, I'm about to work in that industry. So yeah, you take it, and like a day or two after you take it, you go see a therapist to talk about what you saw, and it helps you process a lot of shit.
Yeah, I kind of thinking about checking it out.
Why not? I mean, it sounds like not the worst idea.
Valve killing it.
Like
number 2.
Okay.
Half-Life 2 RTX. They're just remastering Half-Life 2, and it's free. Half-Life 2 is free on Steam right now, and the RTX version is completely free when it releases.
Did they run out of keys yet? Because I remember when we looked, it says you can't get the game. There's no licensing for it.
I tried again yesterday and just went to GOG and bought it for $1.
Oh wait, Half-Life 2 is a penny now, or $1 now.
Oh, well, I mean, it's $1 worth it if you've never played.
Yeah. Or you could spend $11 and get, I think, everything.
with Team Fortress.
Team Fortress, all the Half-Lives. There's the other one that's like $85, but you get like everything.
You don't get all the Half-Lives. That's the only reason I didn't buy that one. So you get Half-Life 1 and 2, and then you get Portal 1 and 2, which are technically in the Half-Life world. And then you don't get Episode 2, you don't get Black Mesa, you don't get all the other ones.
Yeah, you get Half-Life 1 Source, 2, Blue Shift, Half-Life Opposing Force, and Team Fortress.
For how much? 11?
$11.04.
Still not bad.
It's not bad.
You could play it on stream. If you were playing Half-Life 2, people would fucking watch that. It's
I
like,
don't think I've ever actually played the game.
dude, Half-Life 2 is what got me into building computers.
That
Legitimately.
was such a fun game.
Yeah. I went over to a friend of mine's who was a computer nerd. This is before I met you guys. That's how long ago this was. I went to a friend's house who was a computer nerd, and he was playing it, and I was like, I need this. How do I get this? And he was like, you got to build a computer. You can't just use your family computer. So we went to Kmart and acquired a graphics card, and I upgraded my family computer to run it.
Kmart and CompUSA.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kmart. Rest
I miss
in peace.
CompUSA.
I just miss balls. And I have access to balls. It's just not close enough for me to do it daily.
Well, you got 2 of them always, right?
Yeah, but I can't get those in my mouth. I'm not that flexible.
Mm.
I miss Radio Shack too.
I miss old Radio Shack. I don't miss what it became before it died.
I miss the Radio Shack where I could go and get any little intricate electrical part I needed.
Yeah, that's old Radio Shack. I miss that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can do that at Micro Center now. You don't have as much variety, but you can. It'll help you here in a little bit.
Why am I only remembering Circuit City? I don't like.
You don't remember
when you said
Radio Shack?
when you said Radio Shack, my mind went to Circuit City because I know I've been in both.
That was like a mini one in the mall.
Yeah.
Yeah, Circuit City wasn't as great though.
Yeah.
No.
I
don't know. All I
remember
know is-
Circuit City having like little parts.
No, they
No,
weren't. It was
Circuit City
definitely like
was-
a name brand, like for radios and shit.
Yeah, Circuit City was definitely like the it started out pre Best Buy, and then they kind of became like the Big Lots of electronic components.
I might have never been in a Circuit City because I thought a Circuit City was basically just an office supply store like CompUSA.
It looked like it from
Or
the
sorry,
outside.
Office Depot.
Yeah, Office Depot, Office Max. It legitimately looked like it from the outside. Like the building structure was identical to that. It was just
Yeah.
super corporate office looking building, and then you walked in. It was kind of a tech store.
And Circuit City became a bunch of very generic management office places, and then all the Radio Shacks became party cities, and then at least all the Kmarts I know of became Burlington.
Fair enough. Well, while we're on the topic of things that were big when we were younger, there's been more updates about one of our old favorite multiplayer games, Halo.
Okay.
They just announced a new Halo Foundry. They're doing an Unreal Engine.
Yeah, I know.
Unreal Engine 5 now.
I knew they were doing Halo and Unreal Engine now. Which makes sense because the original Halo engine was designed to be like a StarCraft-like game. But I'm not excited about it. 343 ruined Halo. Like, I'm not excited about Star Wars stuff anymore either because Disney ruined Star Wars. And I'm not mad about it. I don't care what you do with your intellectual IP unless it's L5R. But like, it's just one of those. It's one of those like, fucking the last Halo game was so bad, dude.
It goes into one of my next pieces of it.
I wouldn't say it was so bad. I thought it was pretty inventive for when it came out.
It was cool, but it wasn't Halo.
They are finally updating the game. to, and I quote from the article, go back to its roots. New old movement mechanics. So the original Halo, like 3 movement mechanics.
Okay. You're piquing my
Um,
interest.
And they're
Yeah,
finally
where like your torso does this and your legs do this, and then you can move like that.
No, the Halo Infinite, it didn't feel like when you just played it, it took a little bit for me to figure out why I felt weird playing it, but it didn't feel like you were playing Halo. It felt like you were playing Call of Duty with a Halo skin.
which is taking out the running mechanic, which was never originally in the Halo games.
Right. You had 1 speed or
Hey,
Warthog.
Yeah, it was
And you
I'm
know
coming
what?
to kill you.
it took skill to be good at that, honestly. And they're finally adding updated versions of most of the old maps.
Are they bringing back red and blue?
That's never really gone. It's just not near as good anymore.
Not necessarily the show, but like part of multiplayer where that came from was the fact that like you could choose what color you were, and then you had color factions fighting each other.
Oh, you could still do that.
So
I was running around as purple and gold.
on this subject, do you guys want to have an old school Halo 2 LAN party?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I join
Yes.
in off the interwebs?
Yeah, you get a free pass. But I think if we
Or-
can get 8 people to show up, be it online, like the ones local, we can all go merge in one spot. But just get online and play a closed match, 4 versus 4, and drink Mountain Dew.
Or
On
we
actual Halo 2 or do it on Halo Infinity?
I have the Master Chief collection, so I could do it on Halo 2.
Yeah, I've got the Master Chief collection
I
as
think
well.
I might too.
I think isn't it on Game Pass? Master Chief
It's also on Game Pass.
I have no
Yeah,
idea.
so-
I paid like $100 for it when it first came out.
I
Oh, I'm
bought
so
it on
sorry,
a
my
Steam
man.
sale for like $9.
I think the last time I saw it was like $15 on Steam sale.
But
Is
yeah,
it not on Game Pass? Is it under H for him?
no, it'd be Master Chief collection.
Or I
Yeah.
think
The
you have to go
individual
to the
title
individual games.
Might be on Game Pass, but the collection might not be.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Oh,
what?
yeah,
No,
that
I'm-
makes
I'm-
sense.
Because the collection is just each individual game.
Um,
But yeah, those are my 2 Halos.
but yeah, no, if they, I'll try it. I'm not against giving it a try. But
I mean,
not excited.
and I guess they're who bought it? Who bought them again?
Oh,
Microsoft owns 343.
Microsoft.
Yeah.
Didn't they just shut it down?
I don't think so.
Because I don't think they own Halo anymore. Or Bungie.
No. So it was weird. Microsoft never owned Bungie. Microsoft owned the rights to Halo, and Bungie only made Halo.
Mhm.
That's why they came out with Destiny and Destiny 2, which I don't know how you fucked that up. That had the like coolest background story ever going for it, but it was so hard to find storyline shit. Like if they'd have just made it more obvious, it would have been an amazing game to me. The single player, the multiplayer was whatever.
So
Um,
I was gonna say I'll let you finish your thing and then I could talk about Destiny.
But so Bungie wanted to make Destiny, and Microsoft was putting their boot down for them to make more Halo games. So they just said, we're not doing it. You own the rights, do whatever the fuck you want. So Microsoft created 343 and hired a bunch of the devs from Bungie.
To understand the lore of Destiny, like yes, you can read the little books you get here and there in the game, or you go to a website. And I forget the name of the website. It's something archives. And if there's a
Wait.
listener that plays Destiny, you know the exact fucking thing I'm talking about. And then you just read it. But it like when you play it, it's not explained fully.
I don't want to
You have
fucking go to
to-
a website to read it. I want to
No.
fucking get into the game.
Yeah,
you
but
get it in the game, but you get it randomly. Like it's like a reward for achievements or something. So you get
No.
the book and you don't get them in
I-
order.
I played
So-
Destiny 1. I think I got that one on like day 2 when it came out. and I had a lot of fun with that game. And I enjoyed the online, but it was we were just
Yeah,
getting together to kill things. It was cool.
in Halo, what got me interested in the storyline of Halo was the Halo game. I shouldn't have to search for something to get me interested into it. It should be given to me in the fucking game with cinematics.
I will also say, and I don't know how Bungie struggles with this, because they did it in Destiny 1, which I kind of understood, because it's like, oh, first time, but not really. But they did it again in Destiny 2. The first 2 expansions are like mini expansions because they're not that big. Absolutely are just like dog water. They're not great.
They're still $20 fucking dollars.
Yeah. And then they pick it up around the 3rd or the 4th one.
That's why that shit's free now.
Yeah. And that's when you get like, what was it? It wasn't Iron Wolves. It was like the one where you have Orthax, I think is his name, as the big boss. It's like the Forsaken King or whatever, which added the big one. And then for Destiny 2, it was Forsaken, it was Scarlet, and then it was this newest one. Or newest expansion before they did this whole weird like end of life of Destiny 2 because they're no longer supporting it kind of thing, I think. Or like moving on to Matter or something.
I enjoyed it until I no longer enjoyed it because I beat that game it's because I beat that game, and even after playing, like trying to upgrade my loot and getting all the better guns, I still felt like I barely knew anything about the whole fucking storyline, other than it was just a fun game to shoot shit. And that's my issue with it, and why I never got into Destiny 2.
I can give a brief overview if we really
I don't
want
care
one,
anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think this podcast gives 2 fucks.
They lost me by saying I have to look shit up. At least when
Yeah.
Overwatch did that shit, the game was still incredibly fun to play just to fuck around and shoot things.
But see, I'll defend Overwatch on that a little bit because they didn't give you the background story in game. They gave it to you in fun, palatable forms. They started releasing animated shorts. They started releasing comic books. They started releasing stuff that made it different and entertaining, that made the game more fun if you happen to know stuff. But even if you didn't know any of it, you still didn't lose anything from the game because you were just playing matchmaking games.
Yeah,
Destiny, like, to your point, you play the whole fucking storyline. You have no idea what the fuck you just did. You have no idea why you just did any of it.
That was my issue, is I had no motivation. And I beat the whole first game when it launched, hoping for a story. I bought the special edition. I read the fucking book that came with it. It got me all psyched up because they sent me the game like a week before it released. I couldn't put it in my Xbox because it just wouldn't read anything. It was weird, man. But like, I was super excited. Then I beat the game and was like, there's nothing to keep me interested in this. And then the multiplayer got stupid.
Because the multiplayer was just doing the same thing over and over and over again. Them giving you a brief overview of what you were doing, but you had no idea why you were doing it.
Are we still talking about Destiny, or are we talking about?
No, that's Destiny, man.
Oh, I was about to say the only time I ever played the PvP, besides to get like the exoticas, like some of the exotics you needed to get X amount of kills in PvP, was when they had the 1 game mode where your super comes online every 10 seconds and all you're doing is supering around the map and having fun and not caring.
Yeah, the super thing was stupid.
Yeah, I had fun with the PvP.
Kain just hates Destiny. Kain just hates Destiny. That's the name of this episode. Kain hates Destiny.
All right, so hear me out.
It's a game that had so much more potential than they tapped into, I think, is what Kain's issue is.
No, like the super thing was dumb. I have a whole background for the super thing was dumb. Anthem is a whole different thing. I'm real mad about Anthem still.
Anthem should have been a good game.
Anthem should have been a good game. It should have been a banger. So when WoW dropped, every class had 3 talent trees you can do. You can mix and match, but if you stayed in one of those 3 talent trees, you were generally good. Yes, there was a meta, but if you were in ice mage instead of a fire mage and the meta was fire mage, you weren't that much underpowered. You could make it work. You could win by skill. So they had 6 classes, and like 3 very specific things each class could do and get good at, and so it made for a good variety. Destiny, never ever was there a time that not playing the meta was doable.
Fair. Yeah, I can. I was wondering where you were going to go with this.
Yeah,
But yeah, you need, if like back in Destiny 1, again, sorry to keep over talking. I've had the same gripe about this. Is like, as a Warlock main, if you didn't run the self-res Warlock in Destiny 1, before people start yelling like, oh, that's not Destiny 2 because it's the same thing. You were just like, people like LFGs were like, no, you don't have Gallahorn, you don't have this. Like, you didn't have the weapon that was needed. But the only way to get the weapon was to do the raid, but nobody wanted to do the raid with you if you didn't have the weapon.
On top of the fact, if you went into multiplayer PvP, you would instantly know what the meta is, because that's the only thing that would be in multiplayer.
Yeah, it gets real boring real fast.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Recluse Mountaintop meta. The fun, stupid meta where you missile someone from halfway across the map and they wouldn't even.
And then the other thing that kind of like ruined Destiny back then too was Warframe.
Warframe is so fun. I don't know if you guys have played it. It's
Never
so
played
fun.
it.
I couldn't get into it.
But that's what I'm getting at. Is like all the complaints that we're having with Destiny was because when it came out, it was a paid game that you had to spend money on. Warframe came out, and it was a very similar game, and it was completely free. I didn't give a fuck that I didn't know what the story was, unless I wanted to dig into it. But it was a free game. Like, I just got in it, had fun, got out, no expense cost, no expense made on it.
I got duped into a game that I thought had a story. The trailers were very convincing.
Oh, Warframe?
No.
Is it the First Ascendant?
No.
Oh,
I'm still talking about Destiny.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. My issue with Warframe.
I thought we already said this great.
My issue with
Right.
Warframe is the same issue I have with Path of Exile. There's too many fucking options. I don't want to spend 3 hours researching what I can be good at. Like, and I get it.
Yeah,
Most of my friends are down for that, and they all love the games, and I'm happy for them. I tried it and was like, this is too much work for me. I'm not in a place in my life where I can devote this kind of time. It's just as simple as that.
As he said, he spent the past 3 nights staying up way too late.
Those
I
were
get it,
mistakes.
And also different kind of very different kind of game.
Those were 100% mistakes. I'm not. I haven't charged my Steam Deck today because I'm like, I need to sleep.
Yeah. PoE has a massive talent tree. That's the only thing I remember from it. It's like,
Yeah.
you have like 1,000 different options, and if you mess up once, you have to like redo and like, oh, come on.
Yeah,
Like,
and
if you get the wrong talent, it like cuts off a tree.
yeah, it was just one of those, like, I downloaded it, made my first character, got into it, and the first talent thing I could select, my buddy was like, here, let me help you. And he started explaining it to me, and I was like, there's too much, man. I'm out. That's as far as I made it in PoE.
I have you go.
I like a good balance of talent trees, like Final Fantasy X.
Yeah, 10 was good.
10 had a nice balance talent tree. You could go different ways, but there was no really meta on it.
Yeah. Well, it was also a single player game.
I mean, still.
So
anyway, it was just to have fun.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is, there are some times where, like, yeah, you want your friend to like, oh, this is what you do, this is how you do it, like when you're playing a card game or something. With Path of Exile, I was of the mind of like, you can help me, but I want to figure out the talent. I want to do it by myself, because I think that's it's the heart of it, but it's also the fun of it. It's like, oh, this is a massive talent tree. I'm just going to go down this path and see where it leads me. And I think, like, someone trying to explain it, definitely, like, when they did to me, I'm like, oh, I don't want to play this no more. And then when I played it by myself, I was like, I'm just going to do this on my own. I had a little bit more fun. But then again, I uninstalled the game, so.
Yeah, and I mean, all that's just because you get to explore what the things do. kind of the same premise with like WoW, and when you buy an expansion pack or you rebuy a subscription, you get a like level 100 pass, and like that's great and all, but I don't fucking know what all these skills do. I
Yeah.
don't know how to combine them. Like it's fucking overwhelming because of how much shit there is.
Or like,
I've done that twice when I have become re-addicted, done the like level 100 jump, and I have no fucking idea. Like it's just there's too much going on.
Yeah, and then even then, like, cool. I'm level 100. I have all the fucking skills, but I have now no gear.
Yeah.
I'm level
Mm.
100. They can't do a fucking thing because I have no gear to match it.
Like when they brought Death Knight into WoW.
Well, Death Knight was different because it didn't have skills before 55.
Yeah. But
Know
you
what I
still got
mean?
dropped into a level 55 with no gear.
Yeah, but you played like 5 levels before you were put in the general pop.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Like
Yeah,
it,
you
they
still got an intro for it.
yeah, they did it well, and it was the only way to play that class. So it was a good story without having to start from scratch.
Fair enough.
And
I
nobody bought Wrath and immediately downloaded the game for the first time and played Lich King. It's just, I mean, I can't say nobody because people do heroin. So
What a fucking comparison.
that's a comparison. Oh my god. Ugh. Ugh.
Oh.
What'd you do tonight? I played WoW. Oh, cool. Me too. I did heroin.
yeah.
Honestly, same thing.
Hey man, you're chasing the
Addicted,
dragon,
you
bro.
lose your
Either
job,
way.
hours of your time just like wasted, just staring. You know.
Who was
Yeah.
who was one of the big final bosses of WoW OG? A big dragon. Either way, you're chasing a dragon.
Yeah. Molten
Fair.
Core. Molten Core is just like having anxiety while having fun at the same time.
The only big boss I really remember besides Ragnaros is or Deathwing is what is it? Yagma? Not Yagma, but it starts with like a Y, and it's like this giant tentacle monster with a giant mouth. That like they had to redo the raid just for it to be beatable.
What
like the
hentai
OG
are you watching?
No, it starts with a Y. Is it Yagma?
I think it was the Cataclysm one. I can't remember the name.
I gotta look it up. I swear it's a thing.
Cataclysm was fun though. I had a blast in Cataclysm, and I only got into it because they're like, we're changing all of the regions. So I played it for like 6 months after Cataclysm came out, just checking out all the destruction that they had done. Like, they filled Thousand Needles with water. It was fucking awesome. That's the only thing they did at Thousand Needles. They were just like, we're just going to flood everything and make it islands. This is just a bunch of cow people island hopping.
I can't say I'm mad about that one. I hated that area.
Yeah, Thousand
Saran,
Needles is
that's
kind of a
it.
pain in the ass.
Sorry. Yog Saran is the thing I'm thinking of.
It was just monotonous and stupid.
I was a
That
huge
sounds-
fan of Taurens. That was my go-to race, so I loved it. I loved the whole like Native American lore with the Taurens that they did. I'm sure it's racist somehow because everything's racist, but I really liked the like thing they did.
Mhm.
Not
to get too off topic, then we could get back to the whole like praising yet shitting on WoW. Because I have a hot take with talent trees. And maybe y'all will agree, maybe I'll get roasted and be shunned away for the next podcast.
OG
The
WoW
talent-
did it well too.
The talent tree in Diablo 4 really well executed. Very straightforward. You can mix and match.
Never played.
Diablo 4 is good for a one-time playthrough. And
I played the fuck out of Diablo 4 when it first dropped.
I know you
played the
did. You
very
stopped
first
playing games
season.
with all of you did.
The
Yeah.
problem with
Except me.
Diablos is the seasons.
yeah,
They
the
did the
Diablo
season
3,
2.
Diablo 4 seasons thing, I can't get
Mhm.
behind it.
I will just say I really, because we were talking about talent trees, and I'm like, the only one I can think of that I really loved was the Diablo 4 talent.
You know my other big gripe with Diablo 4? And in a world of AI, it pisses me off to no extent.
Is it that some of the bots are shitty?
No, it's not procedurally generated levels. Every other fucking Diablo game has procedurally generated levels. So you can go in the same fucking dungeon 5 million times and not get the same dungeon. And as soon as AI drops, they're like, we're going to release Diablo 4 without the one thing that made Diablo fucking dope.
I will say yes, if you're just doing like the base dungeons that you can just like walk to and click on, yeah, they're not procedurally generated, same path, same boss, different monsters sometimes. Where the procedurally generated maps are I think, what are they called now? I think they're not greater rifts, but it's like Nephilim rifts. It's the end game like season stuff. It's like, oh, I have all these greater rift keys. Let me go spend that. Let me go do like a Torment 7. And it'd be like, that's where your procedurally generated map is. So it's not, I agree with you. It sucks. It's behind a play wall, not a paywall, but a play wall.
I don't want to play 60 hours to get to the one thing I enjoyed in the game.
You got to beat the game to get to those?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or yeah, that you can beat the game or just like in the season, just farm it up. But yeah.
I think every other game like that?
No.
Except maybe one?
Yes and no. Diablo 3, you could go into this. I could click on like, not Cabal's Ruin, that's a different thing, but like a different dungeon name, like the same dungeon, but the map would change every so often.
Yeah.
Like the layout would be different.
And in Diablos 1 through 3, every time you went through a door, what was behind that door was procedurally generated. So if you left the door, went back through the original door and came back in, it would be a whole new map with all new creatures. Well, it'd be the same like mix of creatures for that area, but the creatures would be in different spot. The treasure would be different, all that stuff.
That stuff is still the same. It's like you might still run into like the Moon Clan warriors in Diablo 4, but like it won't be the same Moon Clan warriors. But the map is still exactly the same. I know which way to go.
That's just lazy programming because now you're just doing a random number generator, which is how games function. But still, it's like Diablo was cool because you got cool shit like that. You could join your friend's map and his dungeons would be completely new, even though he's ran through it 5 times.
I think it's because they focus so much on and I'm going to say pseudo because it's not like but like a pseudo open world. Like that's what their big thing was for Diablo 4. It's like, oh, here's the open world and here are all these world bosses that I think they just forgot about procedurally generated.
Yeah, but Diablo 2 was open world.
They focused on open world. I don't know how to defend this. They focused on open world aspect because they're like, oh, it's really great in WoW. Let's try to bring some of that in. I think that's what was happening.
And the open
Diablo
world
2 was more open world than WoW.
Kind of.
The open world concept in 4 with the raids was a lot of fun, but it was still the same shit. Like you got stuck behind a play wall. So like for the most part, us have at least one max level character in that game at this point. So like we could jump back in and go do any of the raids now. But if one of us wanted to redo a character or just start a new game, we couldn't join each other's and just have the simple feature of level matching.
Yeah. You could power level, but then you get into that whole like level 100 jump where you have all the abilities but none of the gear.
Yeah, and none of the experience on how to run that fucking class.
Yeah.
You just spam 4.
I mean, that's the same issue I had with Path of Exile. Like I got into it later than a lot of my friends. And then all of a sudden, all my friends got so excited that I was in it. They powered level me through it, which was fun. I got to play with my friends and had a good time in that moment. But as soon as I got left alone, I was like, I don't even know where the fuck I'm at. I don't know what town this is. I don't know what map this is. I don't even know where to go fucking buy potions. I don't know where to do shit. Yeah. And I was like, I'm done with this game.
The other big gripe I had with Path of Exile, and they could have changed it because I haven't played in like 3 to 5 years, something. Like I think I was in high school when I last actually played. Is to unlock the different difficulties because I like starting at like a medium to like hard difficulty. You have to, and like I understood like you had to play the story, but you had to play the same story, like easy, and then you unlocked medium, then you unlocked hard, and then hard you unlocked like hardcore or whatever. And like if your story is like 20 hours long, I'm fine, but not the like it's not like, oh, you could skip these different things and go to the boss. You had to literally start from you're at the beach and you had to go all the way through again just to unlock like hard.
Yeah.
I'm like,
this goes back to the Halo thing. Halo 1 was like 9 hours.
Yeah.
long games. I think Halo 3 was 24.
Yeah. Like they were, and that was a stretch. Halo
That was
3 was
long.
long.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. So possible topic. Are you guys interested in retro speed racing or speed running?
Yes, I'm looking at the amount of time we've been recording, so yes.
I like the idea of it.
Okay.
I've never been very good at executing a speed run.
I suck at speedruns. I like watching them.
Oh yeah, I like.
How many of us but me really has the time to do it right now?
That's fair.
For the next 2 weeks, the AI robot has time.
But what,
You know,
what are we
I'm not
talking
mad
about?
that I don't have the time to do a speed run, but somehow I still felt attacked.
So
It's good busy. It's good busy, bud.
Yeah.
one person
You're a day walker. Remember that.
one person currently has all 5 speedrunning records for all, or the speedrunning record for all 5 categories in Mario 64.
Really?
Yeah.
Can't
That's
beat
like
those speed
that's like a
runs. Those are glitch speed runs.
No, they've been certified. And the speedrunning community, this isn't a dig on them. This is some of my favorite shit to watch when everyone's asleep. They are vicious.
Yeah.
if they catch you cheating, they will like attempt to ruin your life.
Yeah.
They are vicious.
Yeah. The one story I remember watching on YouTube with you, Kain, is the guy that faked the speed run. Or not even it was a speed run. It was, I think it technically was. It was for Guitar Hero, and they were playing the hardest song. And people literally like downloaded the video and did it like frame by frame. And then when they found out he was cheating, they went through his entire YouTube, like 100+ videos.
Yeah.
And went frame by frame and literally pretty much just like made a forum post and ruined this man's life. And he couldn't even do an apology video because it was just that bad of a ruin.
He got sponsorships revoked. This dude, they destroyed this guy. He was like, I'm a professional gamer. I might make $80,000 a year playing video games. Cool. I get it. I would do it if I could. But they like made sure this guy could make no money playing video games ever again.
Yeah, this man's probably working at McDonald's right now trying to scrape by.
Fuck him, don't cheat.
Yeah. But there's story after story after story like that in the speedrun community. They caught a dude that like sped run Pokemon Red, and they found a frame skip on a certified speedrun. And then they, like Poe said, went back and checked all of his videos, literally frame by frame. And we're talking, some of them they went pixel by pixel because they were like, this pixel was here at the beginning of this battle, and then it was gone at the next battle. This pixel is created by a random number generator, so this clearly shows this was 2 different runs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
They're ruthless. This guy, all 5 of his runs are certified.
I'm just waiting for the downfall.
There isn't one.
What's the time?
His 120-star record is 46:27.
46 hours, 27 minutes.
46 minutes, 27 seconds.
Yeah. I will say they're like in the speedrun community, especially for 64.
Hold on. I am wrong. That's his 70-star record.
Yeah, okay. Makes a little more sense. I was going to say, I do know there are some glitches or things you could do like in 64 that people, I don't know if it's like, maybe it's just a specific category, but the one I do remember is like you're facing backwards and you're like hopping up the stairs to get through the final star door. And like, that's okay to do because everybody understands that one.
That's the 0-star record, which this dude holds. He holds the 1-star record, the 16-star record, the 70-star record, and the 120-star record.
I don't think I no.
Just no.
And
no.
So his 70-star record is the latest one, the one he did in 46 minutes, 27 seconds. And that's flat. It's 0.0. That's his most recent one, and that got him all 5 records in Mario 64. This has never happened in any game ever. So my question to you guys is best Mario player or best video game player?
Mario player.
Mario player.
There are so many different types of video games that you can't just say overall. Like,
I think if you put his skills to it, he could figure it out.
oh yeah, like
Sorry,
you
what's
could.
the question? I don't
Is he
think I
the-
understood it completely.
Is this man the best Mario game player of all time, or is he the best video game player of all time? Is that what you're
Oh, I
asking,
see.
Kane?
Yeah, because I bet if he moves on to Pokemon, he's going to start knocking records.
Put this man in Battlefield 4.
The amount of
Mario.
the amount of skill it takes on an N64 controller on an N64 to hold all 5 records, just the dexterity of the fingers. I think if we put him on like an aim trainer and sent him through COD, he would decimate.
Wait, was
don't
this
think
all on a
so.
64? Or was this an emulated Mario 64?
It's a
So-
very specific emulator you use, and you have to have very specific hardware to run original N64 controllers off your computer.
Okay.
And so here's my
I still have
argument
my
to
original
that.
N64.
So people that play old school Smash on 64 and do tournaments and that are like tournament record winners, they know how to play that game because they know how to live in time watch every fucking pixel motion to know what attack is coming, how to defend against it, and have the muscle memory on the controller to combat it. To me, that's the same thing for doing this Mario speedrun. Like, he just has the frame by frame eye on this video game specifically for these maps specifically that like he can just run these things.
Yeah,
But if you were to
I
take
think I'm
him-
with Beans on that one.
If you were to take him into a Zelda game, like, could he figure it out? Sure. Would he get a speedrun record like these? No.
Not yet. If you give him enough time, you
I
you
think
might.
if you, dude's only 17.
Right.
Oh,
And
yeah.
how many years did it take him to get all these records?
All of them.
That's fair.
Not-
Well, no,
and
this
not
is
to say that he can't.
all in 2 years. He's only been into speed running for a little more than 2 years.
Yeah, but how long? How
trans-
many times has he been playing that game before then?
That's fair.
I mean, you have to get to that point of being that fast. You have to play a lot
Like, you have to
of
know
the
every
same
in and out.
game. You've got to know every level from beginning to end. You got to know every movement, where a double jump is most effective.
What at
where's-
random, what enemies can come at you, so you know when to avoid it.
That's what I'm saying. Is
when to sacrifice Yoshi to get over the goal line.
the movement dynamics of every enemy without having to even think about it. It's just like naturally in your brain.
but those are
That is-
They're not
trained
gonna take-
skills. I think
Yeah,
he can
but
do
how
it
long
in
This
COD.
platform.
I think he could do it in COD too, but it would take him. We're not saying he couldn't do it. We're saying it would take him a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like, if the question is he
There's
just
some
a really
hella
good Mario
COD
player
players out
or
there.
a really good video game player? Technically, the answer is both, but his specialty is in Mario. Like, if you were to
Mhm.
drop him in a Zelda game, yeah, he could probably run it faster than you or I, but he's not going to start going and getting these records until he spends at least another 3 years just running that game only from the moment he wakes up to the moment he goes to sleep.
He's not going to know where every little detail of that game is, like any extras, any hiddens, any freaking power ups that are just you wouldn't normally
You're
find.
not going to take a Smash player and drop him in a Street Fighter and say he's going to win first place.
Have you met Sonic Fox? Have you heard of Sonic Fox? He is
No.
like the fighting game prodigy to the point that he was playing. It was either I know he was very good into Mortal Kombat, but literally was like, I'm just going to go into like Street Fighter or a Tekken at Evo. I think it was either Evo or the next big tournament down, and then won it because he practiced like a day. But also, most fighting games are pretty similar.
Most fighting games controls are pretty similar.
And
Either they're simple or they're complicated. There's not much of an in between.
But that's also why I use the example of Smash 64 to a Street Fighter.
Yeah,
yeah, Street Fighter is one of those games that I'm pretty sure I could beat everyone in this town if I have like a week of practice. Because I've won so many like bullshit Street Fighter tournaments with a blindfold on. You just, once you learn the timing and exactly what buttons to hit, you just go.
Yeah.
And pretty
See, that-
much,
I mean,
when you
that's
get
how I
that,
felt with Soul Calibur.
when you get that good at it, you don't just have to know when to block. You just are. It's just ingrained into you to constantly block if you're not attacking.
Well, no, what I mean is I just figured out the correct combination at the correct speed to not give you a fucking choice.
Fair
I
enough.
just floated your character until you were dead and then move on to the next round.
Did you see what character they chose and then you blindfolded yourself, or did you choose your character, put the blindfold on?
It didn't matter.
If you're good enough, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Street Fighter, I think it was Street Fighter 2X or something like that. With a Sega Genesis controller, I just knew the fucking buttons and knew the exact combination, and I could go like if something fucked up, you could hear the game still, so you could be like, okay, I fucked up the timing. Let me restart over this, like, and you would learn where to restart, where your restart points were, and I would just float characters. That what I'm saying is, it's Street Fighter's not a high bar. Yes, there's really high end tournament Street Fighter players. But they're learning combinations and timing. They're not learning how to react like you would in Mortal Kombat.
Well, either way, good job to the speedrunning kid.
Yeah,
Damn.
go you,
absolutely. Fucking
Yeah.
impressive.
nerd.
What do you think? Yeah, right. What do you think his 0-star record is?
A minute.
Hitting in game. The record he beat was minute 40.
A minute.
Within a minute.
A minute flat is like the max.
It's a minute 34. No one's beaten it by more than a half a second in the last 15 years.
God
So it
damn.
has been jumping up by a half a second, and then he jumped it by 6 seconds.
All right, so I'm just throwing it out there. The kid's 17. He has a lot better reflexes than most people trying to speedrun this.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly. I've tried to go back and play Sonic 2. It made me rage quit the fucking game and take it back to the game store.
I did find his 170-star record as well. Hour 35.
What was
God
his 120?
Damn.
Or maybe it was
What is-
120.
Does he have an end?
Yeah,
game
120
record?
star.
Isn't there only 120 stars or something?
Oh, there is
Yeah.
only 120 stars.
This dude's a beast. I think we should study him with science.
Do you think he streams on, or do you think they stream on YouTube or Twitch or something?
I don't know where they stream these on. I'm sure they do stream practice runs on Twitch.
Probably YouTube, definitely.
And I used to have the website that like you could watch live speed runs, but you couldn't talk or chat or anything with them because they were just fucking locked in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Oh, and then I figured out why Valve lawsuit kept coming up on my newsfeed.
Was it the there's like an antitrust one, but it's not actually antitrust, they're just doing good business practices and people want to sell games on their platform because they can make more money than the other platforms?
No, and this will be quick. So that's what I thought it was. And then there was some Korean kid involved, and that's literally as far as I got until now. So when they were making Half-Life 2, Valve was getting ready to go bankrupt, and a Korean intern did something legally and basically kept Valve from getting bought out by somebody else. And then when Half-Life 2 released, Steam released shortly after, and it just kind of exploded from there.
So what's the lawsuit, that the Korean intern did something illegal to keep him afloat?
The company that was trying to buy Valve tried to sue Valve for what the Korean kid did, but it was found that what he did was lawful.
Oh.
Yeah.
What a bunch of sore losers.
Yeah, literally an intern. It doesn't say whether he was a paid intern or not, but I'm assuming back then all internships were unpaid.
Yeah. Most internships now are unpaid, depending on the field you're in. I put that caveat because I know there are fields that you get paid internships.
I think we pay our interns too much. Just as a career field in general. The career field I'm in, we pay our interns starting at like $22 an hour. And I get it, but you're not getting 22 an hour worth of work out of your intern. I've had a lot of interns in the last 3 years, and I've not once gotten 22 an hour out of work out of an intern.
Then you're gonna find that one intern that is giving you 22 plus an hour, and you're like, this is the reason why we pay it. Because there's
That's
a
when he
good one.
gets hired.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't even the
Or
one
they-
intern I didn't fire, the one we hired on permanently, probably 16 an hour's worth of work. But that's what happens when you're trying to teach somebody. With him, it was weird because it was a field he had never been in, a field he had never gone to school for. We just hired him while he was separating from the military as an intern to see if we liked him. And he did well with us. We hired him before his internship was up. Essentially, like the day after he got out of the military is the day he started at my company. But also that might have, I'm coming to find out that might have just been because he was working with me, because after we separated ways and he went to his own project, it went downhill quick. So, I don't know.
Are you like the what's like a reverse Midas? You know, like everything you touch turns to gold. Everything you touch, as long as it's in your vicinity, is gold. And then as soon as it leaves, it just goes back to normal.
I don't know.
He's
I
like-
think that project might have just challenged him the right amount, and then the other projects didn't challenge him either too little or too much, and he just kind of broke down or got lazy. I don't know the story. I just know that he was recently let go in a round of letting goes at my company.
Rip that guy.
Yeah, they got rid of a bunch of the people I worked with on my first project. I was actually kind of sad. I called some of their personal phones to be like, dude, what the fuck happened? But yeah, and then some of them I was like, well, yeah, that tracks. Because there's always bad with the good. But yeah, it was, I mean, he'll do well. He's very well trained, and if they get him the right amount of challenge, I think he'll do really well. And then the other one I cared about, he's already doing well. When I talked to him, he's like, yeah, I found a job the next day. I make, 20% more than I was, and I have more vacation days. I was like, oh, sweet. You essentially just got a raise and a new t-shirt.
Everybody loves a new T-shirt.
Yeah, because in the career field I'm in, it doesn't matter what company you work for, you do the same shit. And your projects change every year or so it's nothing new. Know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
the
not
only
like...
difference is you might get some better bonuses within some companies.
Yeah, some companies have worse bonuses, some companies have better bonuses, some companies pay more, some companies pay less, stuff like that. But the work you're doing is the same no matter what. My job is to manage my stress and my team's stress, and then sometimes do a little bit of accounting. That's essentially my job. But yeah, it's layoffs are happening career or field wide right now. Layoffs, and then some companies are hiring a lot. So I think it's just a natural shift. I haven't been in the field long enough. But yeah, anybody else got any other things we want to talk about? We're at the
Y'all
one.
appreciate.
We're
y'all
at the hour
appreciate
20. So
Dogma 2 officially in the works. Now
I-
that
What?
yeah, now that
Mhm.
Harvey Weinstein no longer owns the rights to Dogma, which is, by the way, why you can never find a physical copy of it or it on any streaming.
well, that's Catholicism. That's not necessarily. I think he was Jewish, so I don't think it's necessarily his fault. I think the Vatican just put their thumb on it.
But it also didn't help.
Yeah. And it's supposedly Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are going to be in it.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Not to
Oh,
make you
Dogma's going on tour.
not to
What?
make you jelly there, DreadPirate, but the rest of us are gonna go see Kevin Smith live on Saturday.
Fuck you.
You didn't. You didn't have to say that, right?
I will buy
I
you
know
a
you-
ticket right now if you can promise me you'll be here by Saturday morning.
I'm literally going to be in Virginia Sunday. I can't do that.
Dude, you can leave here Sunday
Where?
morning and
Just do-
fly into Virginia.
I'm
I was gonna say
driving.
Yeah,
Do a
that
multi-city trip.
could be
it's
fixed with a
cheaper
rental car.
or just do a multi-city trip. You go from where you are to us.
Don't do it.
Rental cars for a week are super expensive.
They are, yeah. But I will also point out, Kain, you didn't have to say that. So I know you say I don't want to make you jealous, but
I really don't want to make him jealous. I wish he was coming with us. I really do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something that popped up. Dude, I bought tickets for this thing like 4 months ago. Forgot about it. Poe reminded us the other night, and I was like, oh shit, where are our tickets? We had to call the comedy club and request another copy of our tickets.
Oh, I heard you talking about it last week.
Yeah.
With your wife.
Yeah.
No, I think your significant other reminded us.
Yeah, something like that.
Reminded me, I gotta find my tickets.
If you're the one that purchased them, we just went through this. If you're the one that purchased them, you can call the venue and confirm that your name's on the ticket, and you just got to show up with an ID, and they'll give you your tickets at will call.
Mm-hmm.
That.
But yeah, it's really cool if they let us ask questions, because it's an evening with Kevin Smith. So I don't know if it's like old school format or not. But if they let us ask questions, I'm gonna get in line and I'm gonna ask when the fuck he's gonna re-release Dogma 1. Because he said he just hasn't put a date on it, and I am tired of having, for lack of a better term, a Haji copy of it. Because I found disc 2 in my mini DVDs. I can't find disc 1. So I went and bought a UK version of it that looks like somebody printed it in their garage.
Or when they're finally coming out with fucking Mallrats 2.
Or when they're making Walrus 2 or whatever that horrific movie was.
Nobody cares about that. Tusk? No, fuck off.
Tusk.
I don't think they can come out with a Mallrats 2. So every other View Askew-averse kind of like ended where it could continue. They closed out Mallrats really well. Also, I have a really weird copy of Mallrats I need to send to you. It's the original cut before he recut it after it bombed in theaters. Because the DVD we all watched isn't the theatrical release. I found the theatrical release by accident, and it's fucking weird.
Good weird or bad weird?
Like, I get it. I haven't decided yet. I've only watched it once, but the entire time I'm watching it, I'm like, things are out of order. This isn't one of the scenes. I didn't realize how much they had reshot between the theatrical release and the DVD release. They reshot entire scenes.
Oh.
And I'm not talking like scrap room floor he edited in. Like different locations that don't exist in the DVD release.
Please do.
Yeah, it's good. It's just not as good as what we're used to.
Okay.
It would definitely not have the cult following it has now if it had stayed. And now I understand why it was such a terrible movie in the theaters.
Glad he got better on that one.
Yeah. But yeah, like if he lets us ask questions, I might get in line for a question. If not, I'm just gonna enjoy watching Kevin Smith do what he doesn't do in movies. Talk incessantly for 2 hours.
Dude, his little snippets in the that 90s show is really fun too.
Yeah, I'm excited he took over Chong's role in that show.
I think they fit.
I think so too.
They're next generation style of Cheech and Chong. Because Cheech and Chong, while they're still somehow still relevant, they're definitely the 80s culture.
Yeah, they were definitely like 90s, early 2000s kids, Cheech and Chong.
Mm-hmm.
And then fuck, where was I going with this? Nope, lost it. Oh,
and
Jason Mewes is coming in 2025 once he gets dates down. I think he's doing a Red Rocks show. Because he does stand-up comedy now. It's pretty fucking hilarious. I'm actually a huge fan of his stand-up comedy separate from him being Jay. Once he releases dates, I'll let you know. See if you want to come in and see the show.
Down.
Might be down for that.
I'll say we will split your venue ticket if you cover your flights out here.
I could always cover flights.
And I'll take the trek to Denver to pick you up.
Any of us will take that trek to pick you up.
Appreciate you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let me know on that one. I'll slide through for that.
Sweet.
And on that wholesome bombshell, if no one else has anything to talk about, can
Onion buys InfoWars and to make it into a parody version of InfoWars.
I'm down to talk about this if we make it quick.
I don't know if this will be quick.
I
We could
I
try.
only care about this because the Department of Justice is stopping them from buying it.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Like, when I first heard about it, it was like, that tracks. This is going to be fucking hilarious. I'm all for it. But the Department of Justice is trying to make sure it's legal for the Onion to purchase InfoWars.
Why wouldn't
Why-
it be?
Yeah.
I have no idea. They haven't
It's
released any
bullshit
more
layers
details
bullshit.
than that.
They might, maybe they're like a whole afraid of like somehow it's like, because I don't know, maybe it's like a whole like the Onion isn't a shell company, but maybe someone somewhere owns Onion and is related to Alex Jones. But I'm just speculating. I haven't read anything
So-
about this.
So what I think it is InfoWars is profitable. I don't understand why, but it is profitable. There's a reason he kept doing it for so many years. That it's profitable. The Onion is also profitable. So this would be the only reason they have the chance to purchase it is because of the lawsuit. It's being sold to pay off his lawsuits. It
He
would-
owns billions.
Yeah, it would be similar to like if Walmart bought Target today.
It's a weird antitrust thing.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with antitrust. And shout out to the DOJ. They've been pounding antitrust lawsuits, and I am a huge fan. They're splitting Google up.
Yeah. I don't think we have enough time to talk about that part.
Yeah,
That sounds like a next podcast thing. So I guess on the still kind of wholesome bombshell, maybe, possibly, who knows?
I mean, I
Thank-
hope they do it. It'll be hilarious.
yeah, I want it to happen.
Thank y'all for listening. If you want to contact us about topics you think would be cool or just anything in general like that, just reach out to us at TheDepthsofJigoku@gmail.com. You want to find us on all of our socials, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Twitch, all of it is The Depths of Jigoku, all one word. And then the ones that use like the @ sign, just put @ and then find us. Check out all of our individual Twitches. Most of them are just our name. You know, DreadPirate 28, KickenBeans, Kain I think has one, Scorch I know has one. I might create one. And yeah.
You could play card games on it.
We should
You
stream
can.
our Halo LAN party.
We should stream our Halo LAN party
I got a spare
would.
computer we could stream it
With-
off of.
with the 20-year anniversary of Halo the beginning of this month. It's kind of kicked up in popularity lately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Also
we
with-
could do that.
With the update to Halo Infinity, that's supposed to take it back to like the beginning
The
of
good
when
old days.
what all the Halo gamers truly love.
And then just an ad. If you want to see any cool 3D prints back here, throw it in the comments. I'll see what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Just to drive comments, you know. I'll 3D print dumb shit for days if it adds comments to our thing.
Fair.
Keep it kind of PG though. Like big titty goth chick, I get it. I would love to have one over there, but I'm not gonna throw it on the video.
We smoke a joint on the video.
Yeah, but there's a line,
Yeah.
I guess.
Smoking
It's a
joint on the
blur-
video.
It's a blurred line for us, but there's a line.
Yeah, and it's legal for us.
That's fair.
The nudity on a public streaming service is not legal for us.
No, that's how we get a 7-day vacation and or permanent vacation.
Yeah.
But
Oh, more time to travel.
yeah, thank you all for listening. This has been fun. Go to a local game store, buy some stuff, support them. They need it more than Amazon or Walmart or Target or whatever big box store you go to.
Most of them sell
Yeah,
good
forget-
coffee.
Go to the
Most of-
Warhammer store. They need it.
No, don't go to the
No,
Warhammer.
screw
Three-
that. No, 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 no,
3D
no,
print
no,
your
no, 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 no,
40K. Fuck Games
no, no,
Workshop.
no. I'm half tempted to edit that part out. No. No,
on
we'll
that
keep it.
note-
And
On
on
that
that
note,
note,
Bye,
peace
everybody.
out.
Later, guys.
Houston, I'm getting a little fluctuation in the AC voltage now. Roger. 50 meter maybe, huh? Stand by. Looking good to us. You're still looking good. It's coming up 3 minutes.